John, are you awake?
Yes, Stephen.
I think I had a dream that wasn't a dream.
I'll be right over.
You didn't have to jaunt over and hold my hand, you know.
It's all right, I was awake anyway. Listen, was it a dream about that boy from the future? Peter, wasn't it? Running towards you through some woods, trying to reach you.
Yes, it was. Hey, how do you know? Are you going in for mind reading or something? Hey, you know what? We ought to be on the telly. How about an interview with Hughie Green?
No, do shut up, Stephen. This is serious. I've just had the same dream.
Anyway?
He's from the distant future. He's one of the guardians of time.
The what?
If you like, I could show you Peter and let him explain in his own words.
How, Tim?
After Carol returned from her last adventure with Peter, I was able to probe her mind and build up a pretty accurate picture of what happened while she and Peter were prisoners aboard Rabowski's spaceship.
I'm a member of the Eternal Order, so I regard all of time as my home.
The Eternal Order?
Sounds rather grand, doesn't it? In fact, the full title is the Eternal Order of Guardians.
But guardians of what?
The time lanes. They're the routes by which you would slip from the future to the past and back again. You have to be a telepath to operate them. That's why I'm here.
But why do the time lanes need guardians?
Well, when they were first discovered, people kept plunging back in time, changing history. There was chaos, so some sort of order had to be enforced.
Sure he's the guardian of time. He looks awfully young to me.
Well, Carol said he was 163 years old at the time, but he didn't look a day over 14.
What makeup does he use?
No, this is serious. Why should Stephen and I suddenly start dreaming about Peter? At the same time and in the same way.
And if he's making guest appearances in both your dreams, why isn't he in mine?
Well, perhaps because he doesn't know about you. Well, after all, he's never met you.
Yeah, he was trying to get in touch with us.
Yes, but Carol was the one who knew him really well.
Perhaps he couldn't contact her. After all, 800 light years is a long way in space as well as time.
It seems that he can. I have just received a transgalactic communication relayed from Carol. She had a feeling that Peter is in trouble, and she wants you two to find him and help him if you can.
Well, can't she give us any more information than that?
I am afraid that was all the message said.
Can't we get a message to her? Find out if she knows any more?
I am afraid that is impossible.
Why?
Transgalactic communications are very bad at the moment. We can receive only, not transmit. But I am certain if Carol did know any more, she would have told us.
Yes, so am I. Well, Carol was very fond of Peter. I'm sure if he was in any sort of trouble, she'd want us to do our best to help him.
Yeah, so how do we go about it? It isn't like rushing into the rescue of an ordinary person. Well, if Peter is in trouble, we not only have to find out where he is, but when. I mean, in what particular time he is.
I don't want to make any more problems. But even assuming we do find out when he's in trouble, isn't it going to be a little difficult getting to him? I mean, time travel isn't yet one of our talents, is it?
Yes, we forgot about that.
Tim, have you any ideas on this one?
I'm afraid not. I don't dream. At least I do dream in a way, in that I occasionally have to switch parts of myself offline to relocate information in a random way. And that is a bit like dreaming. But I don't dream in the same way that you do.
No, of course you don't. But the answer does seem to lie in dreams. Well, perhaps this is one occasion when it really will help to sleep on the problem. Wake up, Stephen.
Huh?
Wake up, Stephen. The dream.
Huh? What is it, John?
Listen, did you just have that dream again?
Yeah, yes, I did, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah, I know. This time there was a vase in it.
Yes, he seemed to be trying to give it to me.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. Or maybe showing it to us.
this supposed to mean?
What does a vase like that mean to you?
I don't know. Could always stick flowers in it. But, I mean, looks like the kind of thing you see in a museum.
The sort of thing archaeologists are always digging up.
Yes, if Peter was trapped in the past...
He might leave a message for us in a vase like that.
I'm not suggesting that we find that vase.
Yes, I am. And I think that's what Peter wants us to do, too.
That's impossible. We can't even be sure that the vase Peter wants us to find has been dug up yet. Where do we start looking?
Fortunately, a fair number of archaeological finds have been processed by the computer in the Department of Historical Research at New York State University Department of Antiquity. But even with the detailed description you have given me, there are 8,427 items for which a visual corroboration is needed.
You mean you want us to sit here while you show us 8,427 pictures of vases and shout bingo when we see the right one?
I'm afraid so.
That'll take all night.
We might be lucky and find it early on.
Even so, all night.
Carol did ask you to do your best to help Peter.
Yeah, you're right, Tim. Well, let's get started.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Elizabeth.
What's the matter with those two? They look as if they've been awake all night.
Yes, we have. Good morning, Elizabeth. Did you have a good night's sleep?
As a matter of fact, I did. What have you two been doing?
Looking for a vase.
Why didn't you call me?
Well, there wouldn't have been any point if we had. It was appearing to Stephen and I in a dream. Peter was showing it to us.
What sort of vase?
Some sort of ancient Roman one.
In what period?
Oh, about the 1st century AD, I'd say.
Are you ready to carry on now?
Yes, I am, Tim. What about you, Stephen?
Yes, let's get it over with. Can't be many more left to look at.
There are.
Not that one, Tim. We've seen that one already.
No, you haven't. I haven't shown you any of them twice except when you have specifically asked me to.
Well, I've seen that before.
But of course you have. We both have. That's it. That's the vase in the dream.
There you are. I brought you luck. Perhaps you should call me in next time.
Perhaps we should. Hey, Tim, what's the gem on that vase?
It is quite near us, stored in the vaults of the British Museum.
Well, good, let's go and see it.
It isn't that easy. The vase is in a sealed case. Access only by permission of the archaeological supervisor, Professor Frida Gardner.
We'll just have to break in. Well, jaunt in and borrow it, you know.
No, I think we ought to give the professor an opportunity to give it to us.
She'll never agree.
We'll see. I've got an idea that might work.
Hello. Good morning. My name is Garner. Archaeology section. You must be Professor Corston.
Thank you for coming, Professor
What
Garner.
is all this about? Don't tell me you brought me here to waste my time on more of your department's mumbo-jumbo.
Can I borrow the picture a moment, Stephen?
Sure.
This is Stephen.
Hello, Stephen.
Stephen is one of the best psychokinetic subjects we've ever tested.
I knew it. You are going to waste my time. However, as I'm here...
As I was saying, young Stephen here is one of the best psychokinetic subjects we've ever seen. But he can only do it if he holds this picture in his hands.
Oh, please come to the point, Professor.
Take a look at the picture, please, Professor Garner.
Good heavens! My gladiator vase. Oh. May I see a demonstration?
I don't see why not. You in the mood, Stephen?
Anytime.
Oh, my gladiator vase. Well, what an extraordinary coincidence.
Laboratory tests at Duke University in the United States have shown that subjects with psychokinetic power can influence the fall of dice merely by an act of will. We're going to test Stephen to see whether he has PK ability by means of this apparatus. We'll get the computer to select a number between 2 and 12, and then Stephen will try to will the dice to come face up with that number. Right, that's Stephen. Ready to try?
Yes, I think so.
The number is 7.
Yes. Now. I got it.
Well done. What do you think, Professor?
I'm not impressed. That could easily be chance.
We'll see. Come on, Stephen, let's have another try. Ready, Stephen?
Yeah.
5 this time.
Now.
Well, Professor, what do you think of it?
I don't know.
Well, I'm sure I can do it again.
Number is 12.
Now.
That is the most astonishing thing I've seen. Thank you. Thank you for showing me. And my vase, too. Most interesting.
Just a minute, Professor.
Yes.
We thought, as Stephen can achieve such good results by holding just a picture of the vase, how much better he might do if he could hold the vase itself.
Are you suggesting that I bring the vase here and let the boy hold it?
That is the general idea.
Oh, it's impossible. Absolutely out of the question.
Supposing, just supposing, that the original makers of that vase had been able to imbue it with some sort of mystical energy, some force that we still know nothing about. And supposing young Stephen here is able to tap that energy. Think what that might mean to science, Professor. To the science of archaeology. Your gladiator vase would be more famous than the pyramids.
No, be careful.
He has to touch it.
Yes, I suppose so, but do be very careful.
I will. It's no use.
Come on, Stephen. The real vase must make a better concentration object than just the picture.
I'm afraid not. I don't think that the picture will work anymore either. Not now that I've held the vase.
Is this some sort of elaborate hoax to send me running off to the British Museum for one of your experiments in human behavior, Professor?
Of course not, Professor Garner.
Well, you've got a lot of explaining to do. Give me back my vase.
Kindly don't make a scene, please, Professor. Psychokinetic subjects can be very sensitive.
Hiding behind a schoolboy.
Excuse me, sir.
What is it?
What about the lid, sir?
Lid? What lid?
Well, the lid that goes on the vase.
Oh, don't be silly, boy. There isn't any lid. Look.
Well, there is one in the picture.
So there is. Come on, Professor. Let the boy have the lid. Please. It may be the key to the whole experiment.
You call this mumbo-jumbo science?
Please, let the boy have the lid. Just let him hold it. Then we'll see what's mumbo-jumbo.
The lid has certain markings on it which have not yet been deciphered.
Can't you see? They may be just what we're after. We may be able to discover the meaning of those markings.
Oh, very well.
That's it. Those markings.
He's disappeared and taken my lid. What happened?
There we are. It's all on the back of the lid.
Oh, well done, Stephen. You were obviously right to get hold of it honestly without attracting anyone's attention.
Yes, well, it wasn't exactly like that.
What do you mean? What have you been up to?
I'd just like to have seen their faces when I jaunted, that's all.
What faces? Whose faces?
Well, the people I was with, Professor Garner, the archaeologist, and Professor Corsten.
Well, not the Professor Corsten, the man researching into parapsychology.
Yes.
Oh, Stephen, you are an idiot. Parapsychologists are the last people we want on our trail. They find out about the tomorrow people, we've had it.
Well, he's researching into telepathy.
I know.
Well, he seems such a nice man. Besides, I wanted to give him a bit of encouragement, you know, sure he's researching along the right track.
Yeah, and show him too far down the right track and you lead him straight to us. Do you want to spend the rest of your life in a cage or something?
Well,
That'd be the best place for you. Why don't you go on television and amaze everybody by bending forks and fixing watches?
We can do much more than that.
Yes, I know we can, and you know we can. I don't want every Tom, Dick and scientist knowing we can.
Well, silly of you, Stephen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. It seemed such a good idea at the time.
Yeah, well, just don't go jaunting in front of any more parapsychologists, that's all. We'll probably get away with it this time.
Well, how, John, if Stephen demonstrated telepathy and jaunted in front of them?
Because of the way the scientific mind works. If Professor Corsten can't get hold of Stephen to repeat his experiment and verify his findings, well, rather than face the ridicule of his profession, he'll probably decide to keep quiet about the whole affair.
Let's hope you're right, John. Stephen?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, what about this mysterious lid? The markings look like a lot of squiggles to me.
If I could be permitted to have a look.
Oh, sure, Tim. Sorry.
Yes.
What, Tim?
Interesting.
Well, come on, Tim.
Even if we could make it, I doubt that it would work.
Come on, Tim, let us in on your secret.
That neutron-interton diagram.
What?
It's a complex circuit diagram using atomic particles instead of transistors.
On the back of that lid? That's incredible.
Yes, indeed.
But that lid dates from the 1st century AD. The Saps have only just started experimenting with interton circuits.
Yes, but it makes sense. Peter would know all about that neutron interton circuits. Well, it's what he wanted us to find.
Yes. Tim, can you interpret the diagram? Could we make one?
Given time, yes.
And what will it do when we've made it?
I don't know. Let's make it, shall we? And find out.
How you try and do that to me?
This is not gonna be easy.
That's it, John. Now, cross-hatch that interton into the beta modulator.
Gently does it.
I did it! I did it!
Well done, Chris. How about this one?
Hi, folks.
Oh, hello, Chris. How'd you get on at your judo club?
Well, not bad. Managed to throw the instructor. Well, once.
You must be getting good.
Might be able to make use of your judo skills one day, Chris. You never know.
I'll have to get a bit more practice in first. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
Straight up, Chris, he doesn't know.
They're busy making something, but they don't know what it is or what it'll do when they're finished it.
Well, I've heard of some crazy people.
I feel the same. I'm glad we haven't all gone round the twist.
This involves an old friend, Peter.
Who's he?
Ah, you wouldn't know him, Chris. He and, well, your brother were in a spot of trouble a while back.
Oh, that kid from the future.
Yeah, that's the one.
But where is he now?
We don't really know, Chris. All we do know is that he's in trouble. We think it was Peter who sent us the plan of the thing we're trying to make now.
Well, any friend of Ginger's is a friend of mine. If he needs help, you can't be in this time, right?
Get up, boy, get up. You are weak. Too weak. You have no spirit, boy.
Please, I'm not...
I will show you again, boy. You must learn to fight.
Hold, Guthrum. Not doing too well, are you, boy?
He has no strength, sir. No strength at all. Don't know why you bother with him, sir.
Time will tell, Guthrum, time will tell. This is no ordinary boy. Try him against the boy Blood Rush.
Blood Rush? Blood Rush would kill him, sir.
Let's see, shall we?
Lothar, bring Blood Rush.
I fancy a little sport to liven up the afternoon. Ah, Blood Rush, a fine specimen of a boy. Untie him, Lothar, and arm him. But he's a savage. All the better. Set the boys to combat, Guthrum.
Aye, sir. Now, boys. All right, boys. Learn first. Wait. Arena rules. Fight. Fight, boy, fight.
How's it coming?
It's nearly finished. It's difficult to tell if we're following the instructions properly.
What happens if we haven't?
And what happens if we have, for that matter?
That's true.
That's it.
If
Here
you
we are.
have finished, John, I will just fit those pieces into the final assembly, and then it will be completed.
Okay, Tim.
If you want to withdraw, I mean if you would prefer that we don't make the final assembly, now is the time to speak.
Why, Tim? Do you think it's going to blow up or something?
Indeed, it might, Chris. I know enough about the components of the device we are about to create to know that it might be very unstable.
Well, we haven't come this far to give up now.
Yes, I agree. Okay, Tim, go ahead. There we are.
No!
Why?
Well, how do you know it's safe to touch?
Tim, is it all right to touch it?
Who can tell?
Well, now that we've made it, are we any nearer to knowing what it does?
I think it has something to do with the disruption of time flow.
Yeah, well, that would make sense, coming from a time traveller like Peter.
Well, if Peter sent it, it can't do us any harm, can it?
Chris!
See? It's perfectly harmless.
The real test for a telepathic device such as that is when it passes into the hands of a telepath.
Chris? Nothing at all. Slight tingling in the hand, and that's all.
What now?
Well, it's obviously working, whatever it is. Seems to have plenty of energy, too. I suppose we just sit here and wait, see if it does anything.
We can't just leave it in the middle of the table forever. I'll just move it.
What happened? He didn't jaunt, he just vanished. Where's he gone?
No!
Why?
Well, how do you know it's safe to touch?
Tim, is it all right to touch it?
Who can tell?
Well, now that we've made it, are we any nearer to knowing what it does?
I think it has something to do with the disruption of time flow.
Yeah, well, that would make sense, coming from a time traveller like Peter.
Well, if Peter sent it, it can't do us any harm, can it?
Chris!
See? It's perfectly harmless.
The real test for a telepathic device such as that is when it passes into the hands of a telepath.
Chris? Nothing at all. Slight tingling in the hand, and that's all.
What now?
Well, it's obviously working, whatever it is. Seems to have plenty of energy, too. I suppose we just sit here and wait, see if it does anything.
We can't just leave it in the middle of the table forever. I'll just move it.
Wow! What happened? He didn't jaunt, he just vanished. Where's he gone? Tim, have you got any ideas what's happened to Stephen?
None at all, except that presumably the device we manufactured has done whatever it was supposed to do.
Well, why didn't I disappear when I picked it up then?
Maybe because you're not a telepath, Chris. Perhaps it only works for telepaths.
So why didn't it work when I picked it up?
You are caught in the time trap.
Let me out, please.
You are not an authorized time traveler. You had no right to use the time lanes. The time trap has arrested you.
Wish I'd touched that device instead of Stephen.
Couldn't be helped. Didn't know. None of us.
It should have been me.
I'm sure that wherever that device has taken Stephen, he'll be managing somehow.
But he's just a kid. And he wasn't prepared for it. He didn't have a stun gun, an AE suit or anything.
Well, I don't see what we can do about it.
Well, I do. Tim, I want you to help me make another one of those devices. See if we can find Stephen.
But that's madness, John. I mean, you don't even know if you'll be able to help him, or if you made another device that it'll take you to the same place.
If I'm rightly, that thing, Peter. Well, from what I gather, Peter's a good fellow. He's not going to get Stephen into trouble. Right, really?
Your type is humanoid. Which century do you come?
The 20th century.
That is impossible. You are lying. The science of time travel did not... From which century do you come?
The 20th century.
That is impossible. You are lying. The science of time travel did not exist on Earth in the 20th century. Your answer is not satisfactory. You will be confined to the time trap for the rest of your natural life.
No! No, don't go. Please believe me. I'm only here because of Peter.
Peter!
Stop him, Lothar! Take him away. Catherine, you'd better pick up your pupil and teach him how to fight properly.
Aye. Come, Master spared your life. I can't think why, you sniveling coward. I've seen braver boys fed to the lions. What's the matter?
You think I'm a fool to keep the boy, don't you, Catherine?
No, sir. Of course not, sir. You owns him. You owns all of us. 'Tis your right, sir.
Exactly. This boy, Guthron, is a very special boy. He's not an ordinary slave.
Yes, sir. Of course not, sir.
You don't understand, Guthron, but I wouldn't expect you to. Take him away and tend to his bruises.
What more can you tell me of Peter?
Nothing. Well, nothing except we think he's in danger, and he needs our help. That's why I came. That's why I'm trapped here. All because of Peter.
What is your name?
Stephen Jameson.
You are one of those who call themselves the Tomorrow People, among the Earth's first telepaths.
Yes.
Have you heard from Peter? How is he in danger?
Well, we don't know for sure, but John and I kept on dreaming about him. We wouldn't have taken any notice if we both hadn't had the same dream at the same time.
Yes, dream images are the only way of communicating telepathically through time.
Yes, we thought that might be it. Well, in one of the dreams, he showed us a Roman vase. Well, we traced the vase, and inside on the back of the lid, we found the plans to make this.
A makeshift time disk. You've done well. But this disk is crude, unstable. You were fortunate it brought you here and did not fling you off into eternity. You may not be so fortunate next time. You should make no more like this.
How's it going, John?
Yeah, it's a bit easier the second time round.
And what will you do when you've finished it?
You know the answer to that already, Elizabeth. If it works, I shall use it. Just hope it takes me to Stephen, that's all.
How is it that you've lost contact with Peter?
We have not. There is no contact with any agent working so far back in the past.
We're sure he's in danger.
So am I.
So now will you mount an operation to try and rescue Peter, and then do something about returning me to my own time?
We can return you to your own time, but I regret there is nothing we can do to rescue Peter.
Why? Well, if he's in danger...
The rules forbid it. No guardian may risk his life going to the assistance of another.
Yes, I've heard of that rule. It's rather hard, isn't it?
We all accept it, and centuries of experience have proved it to be right.
Is there anything in the rules to stop me, well, me and the other Tomorrow People, going back in the past to try and help Peter?
No, and I was hoping you'd say that. You see, Peter is my grandson.
Could you lend us the equipment we'll need to travel back in time?
That can be authorized.
Well, then we'll soon have Peter safely back with you.
I hope so.
Well, there it is.
Tim, are you sure it's identical to the one Stephen had?
It is as near as we can get it within the tolerance to which we have to work.
Well, better try and follow exactly the same path. Chris, would you mind picking it up, please?
Oh, me?
Don't worry, Chris. It won't go off in your hands.
Well, it's nothing. And I'm still here. Funny little thing, isn't it?
All right, Chris. Give it to me. Doesn't seem to take any notice of me. Don't know whether to be glad or insulted.
Right, Elizabeth. I'm ready. Give it to me, please.
John, please think again.
There's no more thinking to be done, Elizabeth. Now give it to me.
John, don't touch that!
Stephen!
Looks like I was just in time.
Hey, Tim and I took hours making that. What are you doing?
Yes, it could have hurled you off into the mist of eternity. I was lucky. We made the other time just well enough to get me to the right place.
Where
but...
was that?
Oh, to the Hall of the Time Guardians. They gave me these. They're time discs. Proper ones.
5 of them?
Yes, one for each of us, including Chris.
Oh.
And one for Peter, just in case he's lost his.
And these will take us back to Peter.
Yeah, that's right.
So where is he now?
He's gone back to 1 AD. Back to the Roman Empire. And that's where, or rather when, we've got to look for him.
Yeah, well, the Roman Empire stretched from North Africa to Scotland. Any suggestions, anybody?
Yeah. Zenon wasn't able to help me out on that score.
Zenon? Who's this Zenon?
I was one of the chief guardians of time. Oh, and incidentally, Peter's grandfather.
If Peter looks like a boy and is 163 years old, how old does that make his grandfather?
Even older, I imagine. Surely this Zenon character must have had some idea where Peter was.
Well, like us, Peter is a homo superior. Once he got back in time, back to the 1st century AD, he was able to jaunt anywhere in the galaxy, practically.
Yeah, well, that's a big help.
Yes, but Zenon thought he must be still on Earth, and somewhere in the Roman Empire.
Well, I've got an idea.
Well, not another irrelevant one, I hope.
No.
Something to help us find Peter?
Yes.
Here we go, another know-all. And I thought you were a friend of mine.
Can't win them all, can you?
All right, all right.
It's a vase, John. It's got a picture on. And pictures tell stories.
Roman gladiators fighting. They look more as if they were in training.
Well, I bet your archaeologist friend will be able to help us.
You asked me to come over right away. Oh, my lid. You've got it back.
He brought it back.
Why did you take it? What have you been doing with my lid?
Remember how it disappeared, Professor?
Yes. Well, thank you very much for bringing it back. I was afraid I should never see it again.
I'm sorry I had to do it that way.
Stephen and I would appreciate it if you could simply forget what happened. Forget that you ever saw him disappear.
Yes. I expect you're right. Of course, I haven't said anything to anyone.
I'd like your advice if I may, Professor Garner.
But of course, of course. What is it you want to ask?
Well, about the vase. Where was it found? Where did it come from? Can you tell me anything about it?
Good. Now, let me think. The gladiator vase. Showing scenes of the famous gladiator school at Silchester.
Silchester is now just a farm with a wall around it. But it used to be an important Roman town. The gladiator school enjoyed a short heyday, training British boys for the arena.
Well, it's better than being fed to the lions, I suppose.
It was still the practice for almost every gladiatorial contest to end with the death of one, if not both, the contestants.
Yeah, I saw it in a film once.
We who are about to die salute you, O Caesar.
Oh, Charlton Heston it was. It was good.
How did the boys get into this gladiator school? I mean, how were they chosen?
Professor Garner told me they were bought by the owner of the school, a man called Gaius. They were his slaves.
I wonder how much he'd give us for you.
You what?
Well, if Peter is a prisoner there, who better to sell to this guy's character than you? Could do with a few Roman coins in the collection.
Oh, thanks very much. Sold for 30 pieces of silver, I suppose.
Don't worry, Stephen. You can sell me as well. I'll look out for you. My judo is a match for any of those gladiators.
your pairs. I want to see every one of you do that. Practice and practice. If you want to make the arena in Rome and win your freedom. No, no, lad, that's not a field banana you're holding, that's a sword. Like this.
Those two boys there, waving their swords about like feathers in a dove's tail.
Come on, ginger them up a bit.
Do you know, I still can't believe that these little discs will whisk us back into time.
They can whisk all right, believe me, I've tried it.
Yeah, but to ancient Rome. That's better than the movies.
To be accurate, to the Britain that was a colony of ancient Rome.
Yeah, I just had a thought. What about the language barrier? I thought they all spoke Latin or something.
Well, most of them did, but in Britain the natives would have had their own language.
Oh, so they'll speak English. Well, that's all right then.
Well, not the English we speak. In fact, it would be more like a foreign language than Latin.
So what do we do then? Take a phrase book?
No, Chris, language is no problem to us telepaths. We can interpret the pattern of their brainwaves and get the meaning direct. Well, in the same way, we can make them think that we're using their own language.
Yeah, but I can't do that, though.
Yes, well, I'm afraid you'll just have to keep in the background. Act dumb, don't draw attention to yourself.
Well, dressed like this, that's not going to be easy. In the film, Charlton Heston wore a toga, not a spacesuit.
They won't see you dressed like that. I fitted a chameleon attachment to your AE suit.
A what?
Chris has got a point there. Chameleon spectra shift can only be operated by a telepath.
Ah, but I've hooked Chris's spectral shift up to a receiver. Any of us can work it.
What is this chameleon spectra shift?
It's nothing to worry about, Chris. It's just a device that can make the AE suit you're wearing look like almost anything. A suit of armor, a policeman's uniform, anything, even a toga.
You're not trying to make a monkey out of me? Oh, share the joke.
Here, Chris. Take a look at yourself.
Oh, no, I look like King Flaming Kong. Hey, but it's funny. I still feel as though I've got the AE suit on.
Well, that's because you have, Chris. The spectra shift only makes you look like a monkey. And that's how we're going to get by in Roman Britain without causing a riot. By using the spectra shift to look like the Romans do. None of those was Peter.
Hey, what you doing?
Tying you up. Oh, if we're going to sell you as a slave, we need a bit of presentation packaging. Well, don't worry. If you want to get out in a hurry, just use telekinesis. Make the ropes drop off.
Just you wait, Elizabeth. We'll sell you for his harem.
They don't have harems.
Right, come on. Ooh.
By rejecting me. I'd make as good a gladiator as any's got in there.
I'm sure you would, Chris. I wish they had bought you. Stephen's in there on his own. Come on, Elizabeth. It's not working.
I'll tell you something else that doesn't work. I can't jaunt.
Neither can I.
Oh, what's wrong?
I can't make telekinesis work either.
Yeah, what's up? What's the matter with you two?
Our special powers, Chris. They're vanished.
Oh, no. What a time to choose. Well, can't you get them back again?
I might stand a better chance if we knew what had taken them away in the first place.
Well, it must have happened in the last couple of minutes. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to understand what those Romans were saying and make ourselves understood by them.
Yes, I can still do that. I can still interpret the pattern of their brainwaves. It seems to be the only power left open to us. I wonder why.
Do you suppose Stephen's lost his special powers as well?
Well, almost certainly.
Well, we've got to get him out of there.
Chris!
Well, we've got to do something. Without his special powers, he's helpless.
I know.
Well, what do we do then?
Stephen!
Peter, here you are. Here we found you.
I wish you hadn't. Ever since I managed to get that message away, I've been hoping you wouldn't receive it.
Hey, you got a spare time disc? We'll soon get you out of here.
No, you can't.
Oh, cheer up. Look, we'll jaunt out of here in no time.
Haven't you realised? We can't jaunt or use any of our special powers. Well, I can't anyway, and I'm sure you can't either. John? John!
You're right. Hey, what's wrong? What's stopping us?
I'm not sure. But I'm convinced that someone round here isn't genuine, isn't even from Earth, and that they're transmitting a radiation that neutralises all our powers.
I wish John hadn't timed me so tight.
Shh! Garth is coming back to take a look at you.
Struggling against your bonds, eh? So you want to be free, do you, Britain? Perhaps you shall be. Lovely young animal, like a wild thing. Have you got spirit, boy? Catherine?
Aye, sir.
You think this young buck has got spirit?
Aye, spirit.
Oh, he has. But let's make sure, shall we?
Aye. Come, boy. Where you go now? You like?
Now, let's see how you can fight, my young bucko.
Your master. I must speak with him at once.
Hold, Lothar! Yes?
The boy I sold your slave master earlier.
That business is now concluded, except for testing the boy.
I'd like to buy him back.
Come now.
You must let me buy him back. I beg you. My wife was very fond of the boy. I didn't realize.
The lady will have to find another favorite. He's being tested now. If he passes, he'll be taken under Guthrin's wing and trained to be a champion gladiator. If he fails, well, I'm afraid he'll have to pay the price that every gladiator pays for failing in combat.
Please, no! He knows.
What do you mean he knows?
He knows what we are, I'm sure of it.
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Elizabeth. How could he? He's just a primitive ancient Roman, that's all.
I just feel he does, that's all.
Hey, hang on! Hospitable lot, aren't they?
Now listen to me, boy, and mark well what I say. Lothar will give you a sword. Now, I don't expect you to be a master of it, but I do want to see you demonstrate plenty of courage, you understand?
Yes.
Put on a brave show, boy, and you may one day win your freedom. Act like a coward, and you shall surely die. Today.
Shall I finish him now, Master?
Stephen!
Peter, you are here. We found you.
I wish you hadn't. Ever since I managed to get that message away, I've been hoping you wouldn't receive it.
We've got a spare time disc. We'll soon get you out of here.
No, you can't.
Oh, cheer up. Look, we'll jaunt out of here in no time.
Haven't you realised? We can't jaunt or use any of our special powers. Well, I can't anyway, and I'm sure you can't either. John? John!
You're right. Hey, what's wrong? What's stopping us?
I'm not sure. But I'm convinced that someone round here isn't genuine, isn't even from Earth, and that they're transmitting a radiation that neutralises all our powers.
I wish John hadn't timed me so tight.
Shh! Garci's coming back to take a look at you.
Struggling against your bonds, eh? So you want to be free, do you, Britain? Perhaps you shall be. Lovely young animal, like a wild thing. Have you got spirit, boy? Dufferin?
Aye, sir.
You think this young buck has got spirit?
Aye, spirit.
Oh, he has. But let's make sure, shall we?
Aye. Come, boy. Where you go now? You like?
Now, let's see how you can fight, my young bucko.
Your master, I must speak with him at once.
through, Lothar. Yes?
The boy I sold your slave master earlier.
That business is now concluded, except for testing the boy.
I'd like to buy him back.
Oh, come now.
You must let me buy him back. I beg you. My wife was very fond of the boy. I didn't realize.
The lady will have to find another favorite. He's being tested now. If he passes, he'll be taken under Guthrun's wing and trained to be a champion gladiator. If he fails, well, I'm afraid he'll have to pay the price that every gladiator pays for failing in combat.
Please, no. He knows.
What do you mean he knows?
He knows what we are, I'm sure of it.
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Elizabeth. How could he? He's just a primitive ancient Roman, that's all.
I just feel he does, that's all.
Hey, hang on! Hospitable lot, aren't they?
Now listen to me, boy, and mark well what I say. Lothar will give you a sword. Now, I don't expect you to be a master of it, but I do want to see you demonstrate plenty of courage, you understand?
Yes.
Put on a brave show, boy, and you may one day win your freedom. Act like a coward, and you shall surely die. Today.
Shall I finish him now, master?
You've still got a lot to learn, boy. But I think that one day you may go into the arena in Rome itself and make us proud of you. Treat him gently, but secure him till he gets to like our company better.
Yeah.
It only looks like we're dressed like this. Really, we still have our AE suits on, right?
Yes, of course. The chameleon spectroshift creates a perfect disguise.
I mean, even though we can't see it, we still have everything we brought with us.
Of course.
Well, us three armed with stun guns ought to be able to walk through that place like a hot knife through butter. Have Stephen and Peter of his air out in no time.
Yes, we could. Might also cause a serious time warp.
A time warp?
Look, Chris, if we interfere with anyone or anything belonging to this time zone, it could have a dramatic effect on the course of history.
We're surely just knocking them out with stun guns, look, Chris.
You see that fly you just swatted? Suppose you hadn't swatted it. The next thing it would have done would have been to go over to that centurion over there and crawl all over his dinner.
Well, I did him a favour then, didn't I?
Oh, yes, you did. Might have died from food poisoning.
What do you want me to do? Go and ask him for a medal?
You're not seeing the point, are you?
It seems to me you're making a lot of fuss over a fly.
Now, listen. Suppose that centurion, who might otherwise have died from food poisoning if you hadn't killed that fly, now lives on and becomes a famous general.
Oh, I see. And general leads the Roman army to a victory in some battle that otherwise they might have lost.
Right. The Roman Empire doesn't fall, never falls. It lasts right up to our own time.
Then Muhammad Ali might have been a gladiator and they'd be shooting at Christians instead of apples on the Golden Shot.
Yes. And the prizes might have been slave girls instead of washing machines.
Better and better.
Yeah, but there might also not have been any Chris Harding, any Ginge Harding, or any Tomorrow People either.
Go on, shoo! Go and walk all over that Centurion's dinner.
It's all right, because there's probably no harm done this time. Do you see how careful we've got to be?
Oh, Peter.
Look at the mess I've got you into.
Oh. Hey, why am I chained up? And you're not?
Because you're new and are afraid you might try to run away. They think you're a valuable new asset. You're going to be their new star.
Oh, I didn't think I did that well. No way to treat a star anyway.
Well, they don't think of you as a human being. You're just a possession. But they'll not keep you chained for more than a few weeks.
Yes, we're not going to be here that long. John and Chris and Elizabeth will soon rescue us.
Who's Chris?
Old Gingy's brother. Remember Ginge?
Of course. If he's with us, we're in with a chance. And Chris is very strong. Without our special powers, his plain strength may be the only thing that can save us.
All right, then. We'll do it without stun guns.
Agreed. Now, we only use stun guns and other devices on someone or something that doesn't belong to this time zone.
That someone or something that's robbed us of our special powers.
Yes.
I see I'm not the only new boy.
How do you mean?
Him.
Well, that's Cotus. He's been here a long time.
Well, I thought you said they didn't leave you chained up for long. Why is he chained?
You were my replacement.
Cotus will be leaving the school soon.
Come on, let me in the secret.
Tell him the truth. He'll hear it soon enough. I did not measure up to their expectations, so I'm to be sent to the horse trials.
Is that good or bad?
You jesting with me? Or you another strange one like Peter? Know nothing and understand less.
Yes, well, you could sound like him.
At the horse trials, prisoners who have displeased their masters are released into the arena. Then men of the mounted legion either run them down or stick them with their lances. Oh, it amuses the crowd and makes good practice for the soldiers.
When are you going to go to the horse trials?
Tomorrow. Lest my parents can find the money to buy me back from Gaius for twice what he paid for me. But they'll never raise the money.
Supposing that we managed to arrange a mass breakout of every...
Even if we could get free of these chains and through the door, most of the boys wouldn't join us. But they were not freeborn, and for them it's a better future than being a kitchen slave. Well, they eat well, and have some glory to look forward to. Why, it's said that in Rome, the emperor will sometimes give a gladiator his freedom, if he fights well.
The chains, the whips, the dungeons, they can't like it here.
Obviously, like me, you were freeborn. Did your parents get into debt too and have to sell you?
Well, you were right, Cotus, about Stephen being like me. He and I came here by the same route.
Well, you know I don't believe you, Peter. All your talk about other worlds in the sky. In a future time when men will not kill each other in the arena, and all the slaves will be free. It's a pity you can't make use of any of your magic when it's needed to get us away from here.
Perhaps we can escape without using magic.
Oh, I'd sooner have my chance in the woods than die in the arena tomorrow. But you've no cause to risk your life for my sake. If you got the thumbs down in the arena, I would not spare you.
No. No, I don't suppose you would. But that's not the point.
Tomorrow I shall stand in the arena and hear the sound of horses' hooves. Mark well, Stephen, that unless you study what Guthrum teaches and continue to please Gaius, you will hear them too one day.
No! Oh, Peter, you sure can't think these chains off me?
I've told you, Stephen. Our special powers don't work anymore. Not here.
Now, without the stun guns and without our special powers, we're going to be relying heavily on you, Chris. Now, you sure you got it right?
Yes, we've been over it a dozen times already.
And don't go killing anyone with your judo.
And we leave everyone and everything exactly as it was before we got here.
Don't worry, I won't harm a fly.
Well, at least have unchained us to eat.
You know I'll feed you anyway.
And you shouldn't be feeding your ration to me. Like Guthrum said, bread is wasted on someone who's going to die a coward's death tomorrow.
Oh, shut up and eat. You're not going to die tomorrow.
Remember, Chris, we mustn't cause any permanent harm. We get Stephen out and we get Peter out. We mustn't interfere with anyone or anything else.
What's that? Hey, what's that noise? I don't know. I've never heard it before.
Don't you know anything, you two? It's a steam engine working.
A steam engine here in Roman Britain?
Yes. I thought this school had something to do with the time warp. Now I'm certain. Cotus, what do you know about steam engines?
Well, everything. I used to look after it for Gaius when I was his favourite.
Gaius? Well, that's our man. The first steam engine was invented in 1690. And there's no business to be here in Roman Britain. 16 centuries before its time. Gaius is responsible for the time warp.
A disintegrator gun. Gaius has got no more right in this time zone than we have.
So you've come for me at last, have you?
Gaius, or whoever you really are, we're not the Galactic Police or the Guardians of Time. We're time travelers like yourself. You've got a couple of our friends in there and we want them back.
That'll be the blonde boy and the new one that came in today. Guthrie and Lothar, go and kill them! Move, you savages, move!
Get off them, Chris, I'll keep you covered.
What are you doing?
Quick, Peter, grab his spear! Now kill him! I can't hold him like this much longer!
I can't!
What's the matter with you? Running through!
Hi, kid. Hello, Chris. You could have waited a few moments longer, though. Seems we're just getting warmed up in here.
Oh, so sorry that I walked in here like this. I didn't know that you were tied up. Because I've only got the keys.
They didn't have keys in Roman times, Chris. Then how on earth? They're riveted on.
Charming. Just as well I thought to bring this along.
Oh, a laser pencil, just a thing.
Nothing like having a good old-fashioned tool for the job.
A laser pencil is hardly old-fashioned, Chris.
No, but you never know when your special powers are going to give out on you, do you?
Hey, Stephen, you're all right. Well done, Chris. Hey, Peter, good to see you. Come on, let's get out of here.
What about Cotus?
And what about him?
We've got to take him with us.
We mustn't do that. We can't interfere with anything in this time zone.
That's right.
They're going to kill him tomorrow. We're leaving him here. We'd be tantamount to killing him ourselves.
Well, you're a time guardian, Peter. What do you think?
Peter, we've got to take him with us.
You go on ahead. We'll get you up.
Come on.
He went through there.
I wonder where it leads to. We don't want to go into a trap.
That leads through to the machine room.
Yeah, and I bet that's where we'll find whatever taken away our special powers.
Let's take a look, shall we?
Guys, in my authority as a guardian of time, I arrest you.
You're too late! The time pump is taking me away from you!
Get out of here!
You're not going to let him get away, are you?
When that time pump surges, the whole place will blow up! Wait, we've got to get everybody out of here first.
you.
The last one, Chris?
Yeah, poor devils.
All accounted for, Peter?
Yes. We did the right thing in saving them. The implosion when the time pump surged was not an actual occurrence of this time zone.
Wonder what will happen to them now, I wonder.
Those that have homes will go to them. The others will join up with bands of forest outlaws. Remember, they're trained and skillful fighters.
And Curtis?
We'll send him back to his parents with some money. He'll be all right. Though he has been subject to a lot of time warp pollution.
He seems all right to me.
No, Chris. Peter means pollution through too much contact with people and ideas from other times.
Ah, you mean like the fly?
Fly?
Now, that's an allegory I used on Chris to explain the time warp theory. Okay. Yes, Chris, like the fly.
Who else in the entire Roman Empire knows how to make and maintain a steam engine?
Yes, I see what you mean. Still, it's not much, is it? I mean, one kid with a few advanced ideas isn't going to change anything.
Ah, great oaks from little acorns grow, Chris.
Still, it's a chance we've got to take.
Yeah.
Well, we're just about ready to go. Is everyone set?
Well, Curtis, can you make it back to your parents all right?
Thank you. It's only a short distance.
Back to the lab.
It's good to be back. Hey, we're not back. This isn't the lab.
Looks like your time discs haven't landed us in quite the right place, Peter. Any idea how far we are from the lab?
Well, this is the exact location of your lab.
It isn't, you know. Even I can tell that.
Are you sure we're in the right time then?
Well, this is the exact date. 1974 AD.
So what's gone wrong?
I wonder if we're in some sort of parallel dimension.
Parallel dimensions? What do you mean by that?
I mean, our 20th century is going on at the same time as a Roman one.
Come again?
Well, we know this guy's character is a time traveler, right? Yeah, well, what I reckon he's done is this. Gaius has gone back to the 1st century AD and taken the invention of the steam engine with him. Well, the Romans didn't have to develop slowly. They skipped 1,500 years of scientific development. The Romans had the steam engine much too early.
Shh, there's someone coming. They're not human at all.
They're from the planet Twister.
I think we've arrived at a time when the Earth is conquered from outer space.
Thank you.
The last one, Chris?
Yeah, poor devils.
All accounted for, Peter?
Yes. We did the right thing in saving them. The implosion when the time pump surged was not an actual occurrence of this time zone.
Wonder what will happen to them now, I wonder.
Those that have homes will go to them. The others will join up with bands of forest outlaws. Remember, they're trained and skillful fighters.
And Curtis?
We'll send him back to his parents with some money. He'll be all right. Though he has been subject to a lot of time warp pollution.
He seems all right to me.
No, Chris. Peter means pollution through too much contact with people and ideas from other times.
Ah, you mean like the fly?
Fly?
Now, that's an allegory I used on Chris to explain the time warp theory.
Okay.
Yes, Chris, like the fly.
Who else in the entire Roman Empire knows how to make and maintain a steam engine?
Yes, I see what you mean. Still, it's not much, is it? I mean, one kid with a few advanced ideas isn't gonna change anything.
Ah, great oaks from little acorns grow, Chris.
Still, it's a chance we've got to take.
Yeah, well, we're just about ready to go. Is everyone set?
Well, Curtis, you make it back to your parents all right?
Thank you. It's only a short distance.
Back to the lab.
Ah, it's good to be back. Hey, we're not back. This isn't the lab.
Looks like your time discs haven't landed us in quite the right place, Peter. Any idea how far we are from the lab?
Well, this is the exact location of your lab.
It isn't, you know. Even I can tell that.
Are you sure we're in the right time then?
Well, this is the exact date. 1974 AD.
So what's gone wrong?
I wonder if we're in some sort of parallel dimension.
Parallel dimensions? What do you mean by that?
I mean, our 20th century is going on at the same time as a Roman one.
Come again?
Well, we know this guy's character is a time traveler, right? Yeah, well, what I reckon he's done is this. Gaius has gone back to the 1st century AD and taken the invention of the steam engine with him. Oh, the Romans didn't have to develop slowly. They skipped 1,500 years of scientific development. The Romans had the steam engine much too early.
Shh, there's someone coming.
They're not human at all. They're from the planet Twister.
We've arrived at a time when the Earth is conquered from outer space.
has never been occupied by invaders from outer space. Besides, the Tristans are a simple and peaceful race with no interest in conquering anybody.
Shh! Someone else is coming.
Here's a nasty one, that one.
I think those Tristans are slaves.
It just doesn't make sense. None of it fits recorded history. The others never enslaved people from other planets.
Just supposing that your instruments are right, and this is London in the 20th century.
Yes.
Young masters, what do you do here?
Calls us masters.
What are you doing here?
We but humble slaves, master. Work here.
What is here?
Here is here, master.
He's got you there. Try another one.
What is this place?
This place, master. This is vitamin culture, young masters.
What are the vitamins being grown for?
They are food for slaves, master.
Are there many slaves here from Trista?
Yes, master. Slaves from Trista and from many other planets in the Empire work here.
Empire? Well, what empire?
The Empire of 1,000 Suns, mistress. The Roman Empire.
What planet is this?
This, master, is Rome.
Planet of Rome?
They've renamed the Earth. We've arrived at the right coordinates in time and space. But there has been an enormous rift in the flow of time.
Now the Roman Empire stretches to the stars.
Yeah, that's right. Well, instead of declining and disappearing in the 3rd and 4th centuries, the Roman Empire has developed in such a way that would only have been possible if they'd had the invention of the steam engine in the 1st century AD.
Cotus! You mean this is all because of him?
Right.
Then we've got to go back in time, back to the 1st century, and try and put the time warp right again, and stop the ancient Romans getting hold of steam power.
And completely erase Cotus's memory.
Then, perhaps, everything may return to normal.
Right, let's go.
Look out! Quick, back to the 1st century!
Did you get all that into the computer records?
Phew. Oh, that was a close shave.
They don't have a very friendly way with trespassers, do they?
I have an idea they knew we were more than just trespassers.
How, John?
I noticed it just before we jumped back. Well, I noticed it earlier, really. A sort of electronic eye in the ceiling. My guess is we were being watched all the time. Well, let's find this Cotus character and erase his mind of steam engines before these 20th century Romans get after us.
As far as he knows, all the boys perished when the gladiator school was hit by a thunderbolt. He hasn't been there himself, though. It's supposed to be cursed.
Cursed? What do you mean, cursed?
Haunted, he said, by strange silver men.
Hey, time travelers looking for us.
I fear so.
Seems to me we've already failed.
No, it doesn't work like that, Elizabeth. I mean, right now, their civilization does exist. And it will stay that way until we find Cotus and erase his memory from all thoughts of steam engines.
Yeah, they've got all the advantages, though, haven't they?
Yes, except one. And we have to be careful not to alter time too much. They have to be careful not to alter it at all.
Yes, I can see that. It's like that we've got everything to gain, and they've got everything to lose.
My guess is they're going to have to be careful not to harm anyone from this time zone.
So we'd be safe in here? I mean, they wouldn't come after us in a crowded place. They might kill one of their own ancestors.
What exactly would that mean?
Be like if you shot your grandmother before your mother was born, Chris.
You mean I'd...
That's right. You just cease to exist, as though you've never been.
Cool.
Hey, Chris, have you seen that servant girl in here before?
No. Yeah. She must be new.
Well, who ordered this wine?
Well, not to look a gift horse in the mouth.
No, Chris, don't drink it.
Yeah. I know you lot don't drink alcohol, but I never signed a pledge.
Listen, that's not the reason. It might be drugged.
You're right, John. It is.
They're expecting us to drink it.
We'll have to pretend to. If they're from this time, we don't want to offend them. And if they're from the future, we don't want to make them suspicious.
Well, here goes. The Emperor!
And Fulham for the cup.
The Emperor!
So, these are the people who would rewrite history, eh? Or would do if they were allowed to live.
Come on, Chris!
Let them go! We can't tackle them in a public street with disruptor guns. So, they can teleport as well. I wonder what sort of world theirs was in the 20th century. All right, men. We're going back to our own time. The scientists can give us something to prevent them from teleporting.
Mm-hmm.
Appearing and disappearing as they did.
Sure it was wise to come back here?
It's our only link with Cotus. To make a steam engine, he'd have to come back and study the remains of this one.
Those 20th century Romans will be after us. They'll know we've come here.
It's the only place I can think of that we could go.
At least now we know for sure that they're after us.
Yeah, cold comfort, though. Do you reckon that was all of them? Just 4 or 5?
There could be any number. I mean, they have unlimited resources of people and time.
Hey, Peter. Peter, come and have a look at this a second. Chris, you and Stephen keep going. Just about to place a disintegrator pack on this steam engine. You know, make sure no other ancient Briton gets any clever ideas when I notice something. The regulator and 1 or 2 other important bits are missing. Bits that would be difficult to make again.
Must have got blown off in the implosion.
Yeah, that's been sawn through, that bit. Broken rivets round here, look.
Cotus is the only person in this time zone who'd have any reason to do that.
So he's been here already.
He may come back.
A bit of a long shot, isn't it?
I know.
Look, it's coming on dusk. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll camp here the night and see if we can pick his trail up in the morning. Peter and I'll take the first watch. The rest of you try and get some kip, okay?
The air is just as clean as I remember it. But this time, with this, they won't be able to escape by just disappearing. Now remember, you men, you're living in your own past. Anyone you see might be one of your ancestors, so be careful. And don't forget, the whole existence of our civilization depends on the success of this mission.
Steve, it's your turn to take watch. Chris! Chris, wake up! It's your turn to take watch. You and Stephen. Now listen, Wake Elizabeth and I in about 3 hours' time. Let Peter sleep on. He needs the rest.
All right. Oh, it's like sleeping on broken glass.
You can use a magnetic suspension, Chris.
No, what does that do?
I'll hold it about a centimetre off the ground, away from all the bumps.
Oh, I wish I'd known that. Oh, it's freezing too.
Oh, Chris, look, turn up the thermostat in your AE suit.
I keep forgetting that's what I'm really wearing and not Mum's old rug. Oh, that's better. Oh, I can feel warmth spreading through me now.
Hey, what was that?
What?
A noise, listen. Seems to come from the dungeons.
Hey. We did get all the kids out, didn't we?
You're not suggesting that there's someone still down there.
Well,
A horrible thought.
I'm gonna take a look.
No, Chris.
I won't be long. Hello? Is anybody there? Are you in there? It's all right. We'll soon have you out. Of course, you don't speak English. It's funny. It's not locked. Let me out!
Quiet! Let me out! Let me out!
Chris.
Let me out!
All right, Chris. How did I manage to get locked up in here?
I didn't. I was locked in. I gave him a fight for his money.
Who was he?
I don't know. It was too dark to see. But a big fella he was.
I'll have to jaunt outside and unlock the door from out there. Coaches, come back! Coaches, come back! Coming, Chris.
Time to bring this into operation, I think. This is just a native boy. Let him go.
Come on, let's get back to the others.
Hey, I just thought. We've left them unguarded. You jaunt.
Okay. Chris! Can't jaunt. Suddenly I can't jaunt. John? Elizabeth? Peter? Are you all right?
John! Can't jaunt, all my special powers have.
Exactly. What now? We kill you. And time stays the way it always was.
For you, yes, but not for us.
Oh, yes, your history is completely different, isn't it? Tell me, what happened to the Roman Empire in your time stream?
The Roman Empire went into a decline and finally ceased to exist in about the 5th century.
That will be about the time the Roman eagle was being planted on the moon. Did your time stream ever reach the moon?
Yes, in the 20th century.
Oh, dear me, what had you been doing in the meantime?
The Dark Ages. The slow rebuilding of civilization.
And you really were prepared to undo everything and go back to that?
But also, in the 20th century, the Earth had become eligible to join the Galactic Federation.
That? By the 20th century, we already rule half the galaxy by right of conquest. And the Federation itself will soon bow to the Roman Empire. Tell me of the two, which is the more glorious history for our planet?
But you still have slaves. In our time stream, there is no slavery.
But slaves are necessary. How can one man rule unless others obey? How can one be free unless others are enslaved?
How can any man be free while others wear chains? How can one rule wisely without first learning to obey? How can any man enjoy greatness while others are kept from fulfillment?
I will waste no more time in talk with people who would rip apart the fabric of civilization. Kill them.
No!
Ah, don't kill him! Stun him! Now, kill them.
Civilization must have suddenly ceased to exist.
Cotus, he's dead. That blow on the head must have killed him. Cotus. Oh, Cotus. I suppose in a way he had to die if the world was to be saved. It seems such a high price to pay.
Who are you?
He's lost his memory.
Hey, that blow on the head must have made him forget. And once he'd forgotten about everything, well, Gaius and his time stream simply ceased to exist.
Well, that means everything will return back to normal. We can go home and find everything as it was. The lab, the gym, everything.
Yes.
But before we go home ourselves, we've got to make sure this little gladiator gets home safely.
That's the least we can do.
Oh, come on, Chris. Just imagine he's a Roman gladiator.
Why don't you pick on someone your own size?